The Reds are looking for Mohamed Salah's potential successor. Liverpool are already quietly making plans for life without Mohamed Salah. And according to the latest reports, Salah's potential successor wants to move to Anfield. In the second half of the summer transfer window, there were concerns that Salah could leave the Reds after 6 legendary years at the club. There was strong interest from Saudi Arabia, and Al Ittihad rejected a £150 million bid, but in the end he stayed on Merseyside for now. However, it wouldn't be surprising to see that interest return come January, or at least next summer, and there is always the danger that the 31-year-old's mind could change with one move. With only a year left on Salah's current contract in 2024, Liverpool and owners FSG could see this as their last opportunity to make big money for their most valuable asset. If Salah does leave next summer, the Reds will need to sign a new attacking player to replace him, and while it's impossible to find such a relentless player in the final third, they can't afford to bring in someone who can't at least partially fill the void. A new update suggests that FSG and Jürgen Klopp have found a potential option for the Egyptian's eventual successor on Merseyside as they plan for the future. According to a report from Spain, Liverpool are interested in signing Juventus winger Fabrizio, with the club looking for a top-level player to replace Salah. His current club may be happy to sell him to solve their financial problems and build for the future, which could make it easier for the transfer to happen. The 25-year-old is described as a coveted player in the transfer market, and many top clubs are keen to acquire his services in the near future, with his contract expiring in 2025. Therefore, next summer is a logical time to sell him. Chiesa, arguably one of the most dangerous and direct midfielders in Europe in recent times, and who impressed for Italy at Euro 2020 following their victory over England in the final at Wembley in 2021, could be a great signing by Liverpool. While not as prolific as Salah, his direct contribution of 59 goals in 153 appearances for Juventus, with 34 goals and 25 assists, and a total of 80 goals in 206 Serie A appearances still represents a good return in a tough league. There are small question marks over Chiesa's injury history, which is a potential drawback. Again, this is a hugely underrated area of Salah's game, with his fitness and availability as good as anyone in the Premier League. But if Klopp sees him as the man to replace Salah, a bet that has been hailed as world-class by former Italian international Alessandro Pierini in the past could be worth taking. Salah has started this season with a completely different performance and continues to contribute to the scoring almost every game. The Egyptian star has started to make more assists than goals and continues to improve his service to his teammates. The prospect of him leaving after such performances is, of course, very frustrating, but that's the way it goes in football. Therefore, Liverpool would be wise to install Chiesa in his place. Liverpool-Leicester City pre-match news. Just 3 days after eliminating West Ham, Liverpool face their third fixture in a week as they kick off their Carabao Cup campaign against Leicester City. The 2023-2024 season is just over a month away and the fixture list is packed. The Reds kicked off their Europa League campaign against LASK last Thursday before facing West Ham at the weekend. They won both games 3-1. And now Jürgen Klopp and company face Leicester City for the first time since their surprise relegation last season. As if that wasn't enough, the Reds travel to Tottenham just 3 days after their cup tie with Leicester, meaning a heavy rotation is expected in midweek. However, Liverpool have responded perfectly to every challenge so far this season, and Klopp will no doubt hope that even a second lineup will be enough to get past the Championship side. Here's everything you need to know about the match. Liverpool and Leicester have met 121 times in their history, with the Reds winning 55, drawing 25, and losing 41. However, in the last 10 games between the two teams, Liverpool have been by far the better team with 7 wins, a draw and 2 defeats, while the Reds' last defeat to the current champions came in December 2021 during Liverpool's difficult season. Klopp's side have convincingly won the last 3 meetings between the two sides by an aggregate score of 7-1. The Reds also beat the Foxes by 4 goals in a pre-season meeting in Singapore just 2 months ago. The biggest question mark ahead of Wednesday night's game is Trent Alexander-Arnold and whether the Englishman will recover from his hamstring injury in time to be involved for the first time since his early withdrawal against Aston Villa earlier this month. The time frame for the defender's absence was initially said to be 2 weeks. However, Liverpool's 3-1 win over West Ham at the weekend left Alexander-Arnold 3 weeks out of the squad with a hamstring injury. The 24-year-old is unlikely to feature against Leicester due to the fixture crunch, and Klopp is expected to give him at least until the crucial game against Spurs at the weekend to regain match fitness. Meanwhile, Thiago Alcantara is another notable absentee, and it's certainly a mystery. At the beginning of the pre-season it was rumored that the Spaniard was close to returning, but we are now a month and a half into the competitive season and there is still no sign of the midfielder returning to the Reds. Young stopper Connor Bradley is the only one confirmed to leave the team, and unfortunately it looks like he will miss most of the rest of the calendar year. Once again, Joe Gomez remains the only really viable option to play at right back, but fans won't mind as Liverpool's longest-serving player has burst onto the scene in recent weeks and has performed admirably on the right side of defence. Youngsters such as Ben Doak, Stefan Bajcetic, Jarell Quansah and Bobby Clark could all feature in a much-changed lineup on Wednesday, while Callum Kelleher could reprise his role as goalkeeper. Harvey Elliott, who came off the bench against West Ham, is also likely to start. For Leicester City, there are no injury or suspension concerns in the first team. However, as expected, their squad was shattered by the club's relegation last season, with high-profile players such as Harvey Barnes, James Maddison and Yuri Tielemans all leaving to pursue Premier League football. Wednesday's game, however, will not be an easy one. Enzo Maresca's side have been in great form this season and currently sit top of the championship with 7 wins and a draw from their first 8 games. They will be looking for a win against Liverpool not only to progress in the Cup but also to warn Premier League teams that they will be back next season. With Liverpool in the middle of a busy fixture week and the game against Tottenham just around the corner, Klopp is expected to rotate his team heavily. In light of all this, Liverpool's likely starting lineup is as follows: Callum Kelleher in goal, Joe Gomez at right back, Ibrahima Konate and Jarell Quansah in the stopper tandem, Kostas Tsimikas at left back, Wataru Endo, Harvey Elliott and Ryan Gravenberch in midfield, Ben Doak on the right wing, Cody Gakpo in the middle and Diogo Jota on the left wing.